Welcome back here to the Mountain Morning Show. You know, one of the biggest topics of discussion this summer has been wildfires. We've seen so many of them, too many of them to be completely honest, here in Utah and really across the whole western half of the United States. And wildfire season is no longer just a summertime thing. It's something that we're seeing stretch into the fall and even sometimes the winter seasons in some cases. And here to talk about the recent Tollgate Canyon fire as well as the wildland-urban interface is Summit County Councilman Glenn Wright. Glenn, how are you doing today?
Excellent, Diego.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And as we know, wildfires have been something that have been kind of reiterated over and over again this summer, but I think it's something that is very important to talk about because, as we know with the experience from the Tollgate Canyon fire, something can go up quick and it can spread pretty fast. Yeah,
I think I'd like to start by really thanking the incredible efforts from our 3 fire departments, from our we had some county resources in terms of earth-moving equipment in there, and the incredible response we got from the state forestry department.
They did such a great job
on containing that fire fairly rapidly. It could have been a whole lot worse.
Absolutely.
Could have been a whole lot worse. But there's a lot of situations we have in the county where that type of fire can happen.
So let's talk about Tollgate. I'm sure people are kind of maybe questioning how it started or what's the factors in that?
I don't have full information on it yet. I'm hoping we'll get some more discussion on that at the council meeting tomorrow. My understanding is it was caused by a vehicle entering the development there.
I see.
I don't have all of the details yet, so I can't be too specific.
And you obviously don't want to spread any misinformation here. So as far as we know, for right now, it is a vehicle-caused fire. How exactly that fire started, we don't know yet. But what we do know is it burned just under 300 acres. I think 287 was the exact acreage burned. Which may sound like not a lot to some people who experience, and see on the news these massive thousands and thousand-acre wildfires. But let's talk about how that 300 acres is really a lot when you're talking about a small community.
It is, and we were very fortunate that the fire was under control before it hit the houses in Tollgate Canyon.
Absolutely.
There were 4 houses that were under evacuation orders and under evacuation warnings during that about 3-day period. But think of take a 300-acre plot and superimpose it on a place like Summit Park.
Absolutely.
What happens then? I think the first thing you'd have to consider is that we wouldn't have contained it within 300 acres if a fire like that had started there, because once it got into some of the houses there, the houses are an incredible fire loading, even higher than the forest itself, and it could spread more rapidly than we had assets to contain.
And the damage, the monetary damage that would be caused from a fire like that in a snow park area would just be so substantial.
Yeah, Summit Park is one of my nightmares actually in terms of the, but there are other areas like that around the county. There are parts of Pine Brook, I think probably some upper reaches in Jeremy Ranch.
That really worry you in terms of wildfires?
Yeah, Samak, Weber Canyon, and some areas that you'd have to ask Bryce Boyer, our fire marshal, about. He's been out to all those areas. He knows where they are. But those are some of the areas that just pop off the top of my head that I'm concerned about. We had some discussions about this in the council earlier in the year as we were getting, before the fire season started. I think we had some discussions at the council level in April on this. And we wanted to get information out to all the HOAs in the areas that they really need to do a better job of getting their homeowners to create protected space around their houses.
So really mitigating the fire risk around their home.
And if they do that, the fires won't spread to those houses, and the fire departments can fight those fires and keep them, contained.
This may be a bad analogy, but to me it almost seems like vaccinations in a way. Like you're.
That is exactly the right type of analogy that works. We talk about vaccinations among school children and what they call herd immunity.
Herd immunity. That's kind of what I was thinking.
If you get enough of the community that has done the right thing and protected their buildings, you can probably contain a fire in the wildland-urban interface. But at a certain point, you don't have that herd immunity amongst houses anymore. And I'll give you a couple of examples. I visited 2 HOAs in the early part of the summer in June. One was in Summit Park and one was in the Colony. They both talked about putting into place, wildland,
Okay.
programs to encourage homeowners to protect the spaces
Protect the
around their
space.
homes. The one in the Colony was a very extensive program, very comprehensive, and we actually posted it on the Summit County website as an example that other homeowners associations could do. In talking to the person who was trying to encourage the operation in Summit Park, I asked him at that time what he thought the compliance with their
Okay.
program was at that particular time, because they've been talking about it for years. This is not a new
This is not new, by
not a
any
new
means.
subject.
Yeah.
They've been talking about it for years, and he thought that probably no more than 30%
Wow.
of
So
Summit
if we
Park
saw
was
those-
really in compliance.
If we saw those numbers boosted to somewhere closer to a 50% level, maybe
That would be encouraging.
Yeah.
I'd like to get us to 90 plus
90. That would be
percent.
even better.
And if we use the analogy of herd immunity, that's what I think doctors tell us we need for children.
For children vaccination.
Is that an accurate scientific analogy? I don't know. But if you think about it, let's say you had you have a house that has neighbors on 3 sides,
Absolutely.
2 sides in the back. If only 2 of them are up to snuff, you're probably going to be exposed to a house fire next to you. And it's going to be harder for the fire department to stop that fire from spreading to your house.
And even the homeowners that actually went the extra mile and took the steps to mitigate the fire risk at their home now also may be at risk for
They
fires
may
at
be
their
at
home
risk.
as well. So
Now,
that's a major thing there.
I've talked to fire departments about this, and the issue that they have is if they go into a neighborhood and they see the houses are completely overgrown, and they see some houses that have done the right thing.
Yeah.
The houses that have done the right thing, those are the ones they're going to protect, because they probably don't have the resources to protect the houses that have let their property
And they're going to
become
go up even
overgrown.
faster and spread even faster.
Yeah, and they don't want to. They can't afford to put their firefighters in danger
Absolutely.
by going around a house that is completely overgrown.
And there's only so many resources that we can use to fight fires. So let's talk
Exactly.
about ways that homeowners here in Park City in the Summit County area can, some tips and tricks or places that they
Sure.
can go for more information about fire mitigation for their homes.
Yes, there's if they Google a concept called Firewise,
Okay.
they will find a lot of good-
Firewise.org, I think, is a great.
Firewise will give them a good outline of what needs to be done. And in general, what you need to do is you need to get any trees that are overhanging your house, you have to have them cut back or cut down. And that's a potential problem. That's an expensive proposition. You have to clear the brush and the dry grass,
And the debris.
around your house. Get rid of the trash from around your house. In areas where you have a lot of conifer trees, you get needles that are falling off trees. Sweep those up, vacuum those up, get those out of your gutters. In some cases, you might want to put screens across your gutters. One of the easiest things you can do, though, almost all houses have vents, attic vents in the eaves. And when you get blowing embers,
Yes,
those can get sucked up into
into the vents.
into the vents. So if you put a screen
adding
over
a
those,
screen.
adding a screen over those vents will keep that
Wow.
from happening. And as you're building a house, new construction, good non-combustible construction on the
Consider these
exterior.
things as well.
Do not, we don't allow wood shake roofs for new construction anymore. If you have a wood shake roof, seriously consider replacing.
Yes, absolutely, especially if you're in a community like Summit County
Yes.
as well. Well, Glenn, thank you so much. Much appreciated.
You're
Did want
welcome.
to remind the community that there is a Summit County Council meeting happening tomorrow afternoon. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. And if people want to go for more information, they can just head to summitcounty.gov. Or is it
Org.
.org? Pardon me,
Summitcounty.org.
.gov.org. Summitcounty.org, as well as firewise.org for more information about ways that you can mitigate the fire risk around your home. Want to thank all of the people that worked super hard to contain the Tollgate fire and all of the hard work they put in there. We're going to continue here on the Mountain Morning Show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.